Last week, Alberta Education revoked Trinity Christian School's accreditation amidst serious allegations of financial misconduct. Now, to be clear, our caucus does not condone the alleged activities, and we support the action taken to protect Alberta taxpayers. But this closure has left roughly one-third of Alberta's homeschool students, 3,500 children, without an accredited program. And despite assurances from Alberta Education that they are doing everything they can to assist these families, I'm hearing that quite the opposite is true on the ground. To the Minister of Education, can he assure this House that these families are being provided with the option to continue homeschooling their children?
Minister of Education.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you very much for the question. It's very important for everyone to understand here in the province of Alberta that we do support homeschooling here in the province of Alberta. And we will try to facilitate as easy as possible those families that were with Trinity and can register with another affiliate. We have Alberta Education on the ground, and if there's any discrepancy or any rough spots, I'm glad to hear about that so that I can help to facilitate these students getting the money they deserve for their education.
For supplemental.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I can assure the Minister that there's all kinds of rough spots and we'll be in touch with him. But given that this investigation has been ongoing since even before you took office, and given that you've been aware of this situation for quite some time, and given that homeschool students and families are experiencing understandable anxiety, stress, and confusion 2 months into the school year, to the Minister, why wasn't this action taken in the summer months rather than during the school year?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you very much for the question. I know that this is not an easy thing to do, and I did it with a heavy heart, certainly. When I did receive the information, we went back to make sure that we did and looked at the numbers and audited again. So it was a double check, Mr. Speaker, to make sure that we were in keeping that the irregularities that we saw were coming through on multiple audits, including on-site audits, and so it was my duty to act because, after all, this is public money. I'm glad that the member recognizes that, and homeschool.
Thank you, Honour.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and again to the same minister. Given concern over the NDP's past opposition to parental choice in education and to homeschooling in particular, and given that the abrupt action taken partway into a school year clearly shows a callous disregard for the educational well-being of homeschooled students, and given that this further raises questions as to the NDP's commitment to homeschooling as a viable option for student education, will the minister stand today in the Assembly and tell Albertans, does he support homeschooling or does he plan on ending homeschooling in our province?
I think, Mr. Speaker, thanks for that question. I made it clear in my second comment that we do support homeschooling here in the province of Alberta to the tune of $1,670, I believe, per student. And it's important that that money gets to the education that these kids need. If someone is registering, if they can register at their convenience with an affiliate, it's not difficult to do. And, you know, all of these notions about anything else, there's certain groups, I believe, that are throwing gasoline on the fire, making it even more difficult to communicate because they're simply telling half-truths.